Welcome, friends. I'm Kate. This is Bone Health Yoga, and today we are going to do some beginner balance poses. So you can do this either with or without shoes. What we're trying to do is challenge ourselves. So if you always wear shoes and you need to have shoes on, please keep them on. If you are ready to go barefoot and feel the stability of the foot without shoes on, you're welcome to do that as well. So one of the things that we can do, let me get my chair out here, is have a chair handy. And I also have balance poles, if that's something that you are interested in. You can buy these, you can make them. It's kind of handy because you can take it with you if you don't have a wall handy. Like I kind of don't really have a wall handy here, but that's okay. So a chair, a pole, or the wall, whatever works for you. And the thing that we're going to start with is just something that we probably do every day, which is walking. So how can you make your balance better while you're walking? And that is to challenge yourself. So let me show you the first one that we're going to do. So we're just going to, as we walk, lift a foot up and then set it back down. And then lift the other foot up and set it back down. So as you can see, you kind of need to concentrate a bit as you're going around. And again, you can do it with a pole. And I would recommend having a drishti or a place to focus your eyes that's maybe straight ahead. Sometimes that works. Or not straight down where you're setting your feet, but up a couple feet, just to keep an eye. And then once this is something that you find super easy, which may not happen for a while, and that's okay, is to then keep that foot raised a little bit longer. While you're walking, or just stationary. And if you're a little nervous about walking while you're doing it, we can hold on to a wall. But what we're trying to do is give our muscles that muscle memory of being on one foot and then being able to react without falling. Because when we're working with our bone health, falling is our number one risk. All right, so I think you got the gist of that one. All right, so the next thing we want to work on, so we've got walking with lifting a foot, walking with keeping the foot up for a while. And the next one is lifting one foot and moving the other foot around, because that's where our greatest fall risk is. Got one leg on the floor and we're off to see a closer view of the ground. All right, so again, you can use the pole. You can just have your arms out. So you can go forward and back, and then side to side. Again, wall, pole, chair. And we're building up strength in these muscles and getting the body used to that muscle memory of being on one leg. That makes it stronger. And it's going to remember, oh, I did that, and then I can come back. So another thing, we'll have more videos with posture and that sort of thing. So posture is super important for our balance as well, but we only have so much time in each video. Nobody wants to watch an hour video. Well, maybe they do, but we'll keep it a little bit shorter this time. All right. So sometimes when we have trouble with balance, it's because we have a tight muscle somewhere in the body. So that could be anywhere in the back, anywhere in the legs. And so one of the things that we want to work on here is, for this next pose, is this tight front of the leg. So we're going to find the wall or the chair. You can do it with a pole once you've kind of built up to it. So we're not gripping on the chair, fingers lightly on the top. All right, so we're going to pick one leg that's going to stay stationary, and then we're going to grab the other foot with the hand. Now, if that foot is too far away, if you have super long legs, a belt or strap is going to be your friend. So you're going to make a loop with it here. And we're going to bring that foot into the strap and then bring that foot up higher. So depending on how tight that leg is, we want to bring the heel in towards the back. So that's an option. And we want to do both sides evenly. Even if we have one side that might be a little tighter than the other, we want to get both to relax. All right, so this leg, the other thing, so I'm looking over like that. We want to keep that posture up nice and tall. Shoulder blades back towards each other and then in towards the heart. Lifting tall with the crown of the head, rooting that straight leg into the floor. And then we want to keep that knee of this bent leg pointing towards the floor. If we're out here, we're getting into different muscles. All right, so let's go back. We'll do each side again. Use the strap if you need it. And again, if the chair doesn't feel sturdy enough, you can do this at the wall. And at some point, with some practice, we can hopefully come into maybe doing this pose without a prop. But if that doesn't happen, it's not a requirement. We are just working on that muscle there. All right, back to the second side. And while you're here, check in with that posture again. Foot rooted into the floor, knee down towards the floor, shoulder blades back and together. Nice. All right, release that and then shake it out. And maybe shake the arms out too, because those got a little, they're doing some work, so maybe they got a little tight. All right. So sometimes we get into, we'll keep this here. Sometimes we get into a moving balance. So I'm going to show you this one. And I'm going to do it with one hand on the chair to start out with. And I'm just going to come up on the toes. Just up on the toes. So we're going to add breath here. So inhale coming up, exhale coming down. So while we're working on our balance here, we are also strengthening the feet and ankles, which is important again for that recovery when we're working on our balance. All right, if you want to, you can add the arm that's not holding onto the chair as you come up, and then exhale down. And this is when you can practice in the kitchen, at the kitchen counter, with the hands on the counter, or for every leg. It's great for, Again, that balance and that recovery if we get a little off center. So the other thing I like to add to this sometimes, not usually if I'm using my arms, but if I'm holding onto the chair, come up, come back down, and then lift the toes. So we're getting a full range of motion in the feet. All right, so if you want, you can switch sides with the chair and do the other arm a couple times. Very nice. And then when you're ready, and that may not be for a while, I'm going to come off the mat and the rug. It's a little cushiony for me. And you can add both arms. If you're not there yet, that's okay. Just stick with your chair. You can use the pole or the wall. And this is something in a regular yoga class we might do on our backs to get the shoulder joints warmed up and loose. Beautiful. All right. So let's see. All right. So we're going to do one more pose for this video, and then we'll do another balance session. This way you can pick and choose what you're doing, and you can work up to 10-15 minutes of balance, or break it down into different parts of your day where you can do, I'm going to do my tree pose before I eat lunch, or I'm going to do my palm tree pose before breakfast. So you can do all at once and work on that, or do it throughout the day, work on it like that way. All right, so let's do our tree pose. And there are lots of ways to do this. So we're going to start with just level 1, easy peasy. All right. So, well, it may not be, and that's okay. We're working up to it. So we're going to start with one foot on the mat. We have our chair next to us, and you may find one side works better for you than the other. It doesn't have to be the chair next to the leg that's straight. So I'm going to start with my right leg on the mat. And my first level with this pose is my tripod feet. So toes of the opposite foot, heel above the ankle. And the important thing here is to keep this hip nice and tall. So you can see me exaggerating out to the side and then keeping that nice and strong and tall. So I'm going to activate the muscles around the hip. And then one hand on the chair. And we're just going to take, a couple breaths here. And this other hand that is with that bent leg can go in many different places. Straight out is nice. Straight up is fun. You can leave it on the hip. You can keep it on the wall. But as we're working, we're strengthening this straight leg, and we have this opening in that hip joint. All right, let's take a couple more breaths here, and then we'll go to the other side. All right, we're going to release that side, and we're going to shake this leg out, building up any tension. We want to release that. All right, so I'm just flipping my chair around. You can turn and face a different direction if that's easier. All right, let's go to the other side. So we're going to tripod or kickstand. That's another good name for that. All right, so nice and strong on this straight leg. Other hip is open at the side. And again, we can pick where we want to go with this other arm. On the hip, out to the side. We have the hand at the heart, straight up. So if we have this straight up, we've got an extension. Maybe you can feel that from the toes up to the fingers are all the way up here. It's almost like a cross-body movement. It's not hugely strong that way, but it still feels good. And let's take a couple breaths. And you can also, another option is to move the arms and keep that going so our body can come a little off center and our muscles go, oh yeah, I can come right back in. And then when you're ready, we're going to release and shake it out. All right, so that's what I have for balance for today. And next week, we'll either do more balance or we'll do posture or we'll do some other fun things. Maybe look at the hamstrings next time. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and we will see you next time. Thanks so much.